Welcome back to the channel. This is Wasabi. This is a battle on the Sand River map, and I'm in my type T-34, the Tier 5 Tech Tree Chinese medium tank. The mission I'm trying to complete is MT-13, which requires you to do 2200 hit points worth of damage, and it needs to be direct damage, doesn't include assisted damage. So this has been a bit of a annoying mission to do. I've come pretty close to the target a couple of times, including the battle right before this on Mountain Pass, where I finished with 2190 damage, so only 10 hit points. But this has turned out to be a much more favourable battle for me. So as this is a Sand River, the best place for a medium tank, as I've found, is to come to this ridge and basically to spot tanks to figure out where their enemy is. Now, of course, with this mission, you've got to do the damage. So basically, you need to know where the tanks are that you can then go and basically try and shoot. Now, here we've spotted an A20, which is a light tank. Just try and put a shot there in without aiming, which doesn't connect, and he's heading off up the hill. We should see him later. Just put another shot just in case we manage to connect. Got plenty of ammunition, of course, so it's not a big deal. But now here comes a M5 Stewart, and we managed to track him and then put some hits in. We're taking a little bit of damage ourselves, but just trying to angle a little bit and take as many hit points out of him as possible. We're not interested in assisted damage in this one. We're trying to be basically, I won't say greedy is not the right word, but selfish is probably a better word. So we want all this damage to ourselves. Otherwise, you're reducing your chances of meeting the target at this tier. Now, one of the other considerations in the tier, of course, this tier of trying to get this damage, of course, is the total hit point pool of the team. So playing on the ANZ server, sometimes the teams don't have a full complement, and this is an example of that. There you go. It's the A20's come down the hill. Now, he's a light tank, so it's similar look to the T-34 that this tank is based on, but being a light tank has sort of a bit less armor to give it higher speed. So although it's got sloped armor, it's really basically easy to get through. Now, it's hitting me and doing a bit of damage, but the damage he's doing is a bit less. We're doing about 10 points more damage to him, and he's bouncing some of it off our armor. So we managed to get the kill there. So we've got 3 kills already, and we're getting there with our target. We're now at 1600 points of damage. Now, we blocked a little bit, but we've also lost almost, well, in fact, a little bit more than half our health. So just being a bit careful here. There's a B1 down there. Now we realise that he is over the sand dunes, but potentially around the enemy base there are tank destroyers. But we notice on the map that the M10, which is probably the one I'm most concerned about, is actually down in the Dry River Valley there. And then we find the B1, who has turned up come out of the river. We're basically jamming shells into him. We're getting pretty close to 2000 damage. We take a hit from an M8A1. Now, that probably is a bot player, but we can't really afford to take too many more hits. So rather than wait and completely waste that B1, we just back away a little bit. Now, we just hit our target, 2200 damage. That's one of the things with these bots with pretty high hit point pools, the heavy tanks in particular. If you can get them to yourself, it only really takes 3 B1 equivalents to do your 2200 damage. So it's all a matter of being in the right place at the right time on the right map, and having the vision. Now, we are down to 180 hit points, but we've done 2300 damage. Let's see how far we can take this. We've met our target. Now, the secondary condition to get honours, by the way, is just to be in the top 5 of your team by damage. So hopefully we will be there. We've got all 4 kills of our team at the moment, so not sure if this is going to be a win or a loss at this point. We're evenly balanced, 4 kills each, so we're just coming up carefully on the base. There's potentially that M8 is there, but we notice a Matilda there. We fire a shot at him, but back away quickly, and we get into a bit of a spot here with the rocks. Was worried that I'd be jammed in there and not get out, but we managed to turn around basically without losing any hit points, which is another benefit. But it would have been very embarrassing to crash, and there's an M8A1 coming after us, so just getting our gun around and to try and do some damage. Can't really afford to take too much more damage, so we try and get around him. He can't turn his gun as fast as we can, and we just managed to kill him, so up to 2700 damage. We did lose a little bit of health there, but just a bit concerned about that Matilda, so we're going to run off this way and try and get out of here. Certainly don't want to face that Matilda, because with 2 or 3 shots, and he's pretty fast firing, and there you go, just have a look on the mini map there, he is behind us, so I'm a bit concerned we might not get out of here, but we are a lot faster mover than Matilda, and as long as we get around, won't be a drama. So trying to find where the other tanks are and to assist our team is all we're really trying to do. But we're still trying to get away from that Matilda, so we're going to go down into this river valley. There were a couple of looks down there, and there we get spotted by looks from the enemy team. Now we're just firing on the move here, trying to do some damage. We're not really being successful. We are bouncing a bit, but just not driving like well. Here I'm probably a bit sort of overexcited with our performance, and the looks manages to take us out, and unfortunately we don't do any damage to him. So it's going to be a bit of a pain in the rest of the game. We are ahead on tanks. We're significantly up on hit points, but basically it's just 2 human players in our team left, the KV-1 and the Matilda 4, both at tier 5, which is good, and Matilda being a tier 5, slightly better performer than the tier 4 Matilda on the other side. So we're just following now the KV-1, a bit concerned that he's got an M10 behind him, and who's putting in damage, and quite capable of basically deleting this KV-1 with a series of hits. The Matilda's firing back at him. Firing looks like premium ammunition, but very slow shell velocities. You can see the shells just floating through the air, almost there. So he's taking some damage, but hopefully he can do some damage against there. And our Matilda 4 is coming up through the city, not very quickly, so we do urge him a bit in chat to push up and basically try and take out the M10, being what I think is the most dangerous tank on the enemy team. But the KV-1 is taking some damage out of the Matilda, and even the M10's taken some damage there. But even with bot tanks on your team, they can do some damage. The KV-1 ends up deleting the Matilda, so it's basically come down to the looks that I couldn't shoot before, and the M10. So we're just hoping that this Matilda basically moves up and gets into a position where he can put hits on the M10. The KV-1, was basically trying to do the right thing and face off, but he's just been deleted by the M10, and that's really what I was concerned about. The M10 can outvision and basically has high penetration, so we're just now pinning our hopes on the Matilda. Pretty slow mover, and he's basically climbing up bridges here, which is not helping his speed a great deal. We really need to get him up into that corner where the M10 was and just stay in the gullies, but unfortunately he's decided that going up hills is the right thing to do, but he'll get there eventually. We'll just speed this up a little bit to not spend too much time. I've got to say it was pretty annoying watching it while I was in the game. It's just at twice speed here, so we don't overdo it. This Matilda is going to get into a reasonable position eventually. So again, even at twice speed going up these hills, you can see how slow they are, 12 kilometers an hour. So he's just coming over the hill, and we'll just go back down to normal speed. And he's got a lock on the M10, but just needs to get into a position where you can actually get his gun on it. And he can take a bit of damage here. He's got full hit points, and he manages to basically delete the M10. So basically now just the looks on the enemy team, who is running around, was last seen, in fact there he is just running away from the base area. He's only got 179 hit points left, and I'm going to speed this up. Get this Matilda closer to the victory point, if possible. And again, he decides to go up a hill, which might be from a reasonable idea tactically, but that looks will be far away by the time he gets to the top. There's very little likelihood that he will spot him. And luckily the bots decide that capping is the right thing to do, and then go with the cap. Again, we'll just put a bit of speed in here. But basically all they need to do really is cap and wait for the looks to come to them. A couple of shots into the looks will deal with it. So we'll just keep the ×2 working while this is happening. I've now got 2 tanks on cap. You can see the DW2 in the background is getting damage taken out of it. Clearly the looks is on that side. These guys are looking in the wrong direction, but I think they will cap out before the looks gets there. So in fact that's what happens. The looks doesn't appear, but the team cap out, and that's the win. So we completed the mission with the damage total, and we also got it with honours, so we did finish in the top 5. Luckily it wasn't a requirement to survive the battle, otherwise it would have been a bit disappointing. We got the Ace Tanker badge, second time this weekend, but this improved our previous best result. We got the high caliber award and just under 10,000 credits, experience, which came from completing a mission from this weekend, and 25 bonds from completing one of the premium missions. So we finished on top of experience with 1202 base experience and damage of 2730 and 5 kills. Good result there from the KV1 as well, 2395. So basically the 2 tanks that contributed the most to that battle. Well done to the M10 on the enemy side for getting nearly 2000 damage out of that. So we fired 59 shots. Now this is what you need to do to get to these high damage totals, is you've got to fire a lot and you want most of them to connect. So we got 40 hits and 38 penetrated. We didn't use any premium ammunition, so we made 47,000 credits out of it in total, which was not a bad result for a non-premium tank. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to make comments below.